back to the Quackery, where a regular Taylor resident wades through city plans and meetings, then breaks them down so you don't have to dig through it all yourself. Today we're looking at the public hearing on the proposed tax rate for the city of Taylor. A public hearing is a meeting where residents can show up, listen, and share their opinions before the city makes a final decision. Here are the hearing details. Date, September 10th, 2025. Time, 6 p.m. Location, Taylor City Hall.
Now, let's talk about the numbers. The proposed tax rate is 58.5 cents per $100 of taxable property value. The no new revenue tax rate is about 51 cents per $100. The voter approval tax rate is the same as the proposed rate, 58.5 cents per 100.
What do these mean? First, the tax rate is how much the city charges in property taxes for every $100 of your property's taxable value. For example, if your house is valued at $200,000, divide that by 100, that's $2,000. Now multiply by the tax rate. At 58.5 cents, your city property tax bill would be about $1,170. Next, the no new revenue rate is the keep things flat rate. It's the number that would bring in the same amount of money as last year from the same set of properties. For 2025, that number is about 51 cents. Finally, the voter approval rate is the maximum tax rate the city can adopt without triggering a special election. If the council set the rate higher than this, voters would get to decide. For 2025, that number is the same as the proposed rate, 58.5 cents.
So what's the impact?
The proposed rate is higher than the no new revenue rate. That means the city will collect more money than last year. But the proposed rate is not higher than the voter approval rate, so there won't be a tax election. How does this affect the average homeowner? In 2024, the average home in Taylor was taxed at about 59 cents per $100 on a taxable value of $240,000. That came out to about $1,419 in city taxes. In 2025, the rate is slightly lower, 58.5 cents, but home values have gone up. The average taxable home value is now $255,614. Taxes on that home will be about $1,495. That's an increase of $76, or about 5.35% more than last year. Looking at the city as a whole, in 2024, total property tax revenue was about $15 million. In 2025, the city expects to bring in about $20 million. That's nearly a $5 million increase, or about 32% more. So even though the rate itself is slightly lower than last year, the city still collects more money because property values have gone up and new growth has been added to the tax rolls. Who's for and against this? 5 council members voted for the proposal, no one voted against it, no one abstained, and no one was absent. So what can you do as a resident? This is a public hearing. You can attend and speak up, whether you support or oppose the rate. You can also contact council members directly at City Hall. If you want to calculate your own numbers, here's the formula. Property tax equals the tax rate times the taxable value of your property divided by 100. You can also check the state's database at texas.gov/property taxes for detailed information on your own property. And the City of Taylor has more information on its website at taylortx.gov/1370, proposed budget and tax rate. So why does all this matter? Property taxes are how the city pays for services, things like police, fire protection, parks, and road repairs. A higher total tax levy means the city has more money to spend, but it also means residents are paying more. The public hearing is your chance to weigh in on whether that balance feels right. And that's the breakdown for the public hearing on the proposed tax rate, September 10th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. Thanks for watching the Quackery. Remember, this is completely unofficial. I'm just a neighbor learning out loud and sharing what I discover along the way. So jump on in. The more ducks in the pond, the more voices in the conversation, and together, the more we can shape Taylor's future.